My name's Frank Smith. I'm the dual career coach for Keller Williams Coastal in Rhode Island. Thank you so much all for coming tonight to Ignite Session 8, Capture Leads with Social Media. Also want to let you guys know that we've got your regional operations manager, Monica Williams, is moderating the chat as well. So make sure if you've got questions that come up as I'm going, please make sure to type it in the chat. Also, please use the react buttons on there, the hands up buttons, things like that. That's all stuff that goes pretty well and helps us identify when you got questions. So please, please, please use the chat. Also, please turn your videos on so that way we can see all your smiling, beautiful faces, and we know that you are engaged and and active. Unless you're going to the bathroom, if you need to go to the bathroom, feel free. Just go ahead and go. We're not going to take any breaks. We're going to power through this. So if you got to go to the bathroom, go ahead, head to the bathroom, and do not take us with you, please. Alrighty. So with that said, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. Dual career coach, started with Keller Williams about 5 years ago. Quickly got off and running, captain my first year, won rookie of the year in my office, was ALC for the last 4 years. So kind of went off to the races, running pretty fast with stuff. And a big way that I did it, probably my primary way that I was successful, was through social media. That's why I'm super excited to teach this class. And as soon as I saw that this was available for somebody to present and to teach as part of the Regional Ignite, I was all over it because this is a very, very passionate subject for me. This is how I built my business, is social media. So, all right, that being said, let's get going here. Of course, I'm having technical difficulties now. Why won't this let me off the screen?
I'll fill the space. I just wanted to share. I just want to thank you for your passion, because I think many of your colleagues who've been teaching the previous courses wouldn't share the same enthusiasm for social media, and
All right.
I'm excited to learn what you got to say.
Thank you. I'm excited to teach it if I got to figure out how to get the slideshow to move forward while I'm on Zoom. So I might need a little help with this one. I promised Monica I wasn't going to bother her right off the bat, but right off the bat, I can't get my screen to move forward while I'm on Zoom.
Just a second. Let me see if I can.
I'm just going to interrupt a second. I apologize for not being on camera, but I'm traveling, so I'm on my phone. So I'm sorry.
All right, let me try this. I want to keep it on the screen so I can see all of you, but it's not letting me move this forward as I do that. I promise you all I'm a lot better at social media than I am at technology with Zoom. Let me try another way. Let me try stop sharing. All right, that works. Yeah, I can move the slideshow forward if I'm not sharing my screen, but if I'm sharing my screen, I can't move the slide forward.
Let me try to stop sharing yours, Frank, and I'll try it from my end here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm sharing right now, so. Oh, you guys are all getting thunder? Yeah, I can hear it rumbling outside outside my house right now too. So hopefully we make it through here tonight without anybody losing power. Yes, I am the host. So that's probably why I can't move it forward. That was my first one of these, so I really don't know. All right, Monica to the rescue. Look at this.
Can y'all see that okay?
I can see it. Everyone can see it. This is even better. I can just talk
Yep.
now. I don't even have to push a button. This is even
There
better.
you go. You got your EA right here for you, my friend.
Awesome. I'm gonna have to like make a tone or something like boom whenever it's time to move forward.
I'm pretty intuitive. Let's see if we can work this out.
All right. All right. Thanks. All righty. So, yeah. So today we're gonna cover how to capture leads using social media. We're gonna look at the 10-5-1 engagement plan. And the 80-20 principle. Some of those you might have heard of, some of them you might not have heard of. And we're going to look at some other strategies you can use to employ on social media. Bing. We got the scary notices here, the TPCA notices and TCPA notices and all that good stuff. Make sure you're complying with all that good stuff, even on social media. Know your rules. Alrighty. So this is going to be our agenda for the day. We're going to cover the 10-5-1. We're going to go over the 80-20 principle. And let's move forward one more, please. Alrighty. So we're going to go over the 10-5-1. And we're going to learn how to employ that to your network. We're going to explain the importance of limiting your social media posts to 20% of your business content, which I'll be honest with you, one thing I love about teaching this is it reminds me to do that because I can sometimes overshare business stuff myself. So we will, so that's something that we all need to kind of keep in mind as we don't want to overshare. We're going to talk more about that. And we're going to identify social media engagement strategies that add value to the people in your network. Very, very, very important. The stuff you post needs to have value. Otherwise, people aren't going to pay attention to it and they're not going to care. So as we go through today, I want you to think of any questions that you might have. Write it down right now. Anything you want to learn about social media, think about it, write it down. There's a chance we might cover it today, but if we don't, make sure you have it written down so that way you can ask us at the end. All right. So one thing I want to do, let's get this chat moving and grooving right off the bat. I want everybody to put in the chat what social media platform is your number one, the one you use the most, how many followers or friends you have on there, and what region you primarily work out of. Like, what is your hyper local area that you work out of? So everyone do me a favor and go put that in the chat. And I'm going to see if I can pull up the chat and look myself without causing a major crash or something here.
It's okay. I got my eye on the chat. Also, Frank here. Oh, okay. So Instagram.
There you go.
Oh, Instagram
973.
973.
Good, good.
Hmm.
4,900. Sue Doyle. Holy smokes. Instagram needs a whole server just for Sue.
Wow, that's impressive, huh?
That's really good. I thought my number was going to be impressive. Oh, Janice 2200. Janice Green. Very nice. Very nice.
Oh, TikTok. Mostly a
Brandon
lurker.
180 on Instagram. Facebooker. Barb Morrison. Oh, 1259. Svetlana. That's right around my number. I think I'm around there too. So yeah, my number is 1641. 1641. Facebook's by far my number one. So, alrighty. Let's take a look at this quote right here. It takes time to learn something, more time to implement it, and even longer to approach mastery of it. All right. What that means to me, that if something's easy, anyone could do it. And if anyone can do it, it's not going to be valuable. It's not going to be a valuable skill. Social media falls in that category. There's millions of realtors on social media. They're not all using it properly. All right. So you want to make sure that you're going to learn it tonight. You're going to employ these strategies. All right. It's not going to be easy, but it'll be worth it if you do it. That's what that quote means to me about this chapter, at least. All righty. So where we're at right now, we're at the 10-5-1 engagement system. All right. It's important to know that even with social media, if conducting lead generating, you have to reference your market center DBA, your Department of Business Administration name, not just Keller Williams generically. You can't just be, Frank Smith, KW agent, your number one agent, Frank Smith, coolest agent in the world. That doesn't fly. All right. You have to identify your office, your market center name. Sometimes it's not going to be pretty, but one way to get around that and to make sure you're always doing it is change your business name on your social media and just incorporate it into it. For me, it's really a mouthful because I'm actually in two offices. I've got my New England business for Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut at KW Coastal, but I'm also in Florida too at Keller Williams Suburban Tampa. So on Facebook, my business page says Frank Smith, Keller Williams Coastal, Keller Williams Suburban Tampa, but that's what it has to be to comply with the state laws. So make sure you check out the state laws where you're at, make sure you're complying with it. There is a link in your participant guide. So please make sure you check it out and make sure you're complying with it on social media. Alrighty. So with the 10-5-1 engagement system, I think you guys did talk about this a little bit in an earlier chapter. So with this, you know that you've been liking, commenting, and direct messaging people on social media profiles. And if you've been doing that, you basically have been doing the 10-5-1 already, but maybe it hasn't been locked in to the exact 10-5-1 structure. You don't know that's what you've been doing, but you've basically been doing it if you've been active on social media. So we're going to dive deeper into the tools for success with this system. All right. Does anybody know what 10-5-1 stands for? And if you do, please write it in the chat. Or you can raise your hand. Raise your hand and you can go off mute. This little graphic here should give you a little preview. All right. Somebody got it. Who was Barb said it first? 10 likes, 5 comments, and 1 direct message per day. Basically, yep, it's a little bit of a variant on that, but that's very, very, very close. And that's basically what it is. So very nice job, Barb. You get 5 social media points for the day. So if you've been posting and liking, most likely you're going to see your engagement go up. The more you post, the more you like, it's no secret. People are going to connect with you. And that's kind of the whole idea of this whole thing here. So every day we're going to start with the 10 here. All right. So 10 likes or loves a day. Every day you should like or love or react to 10 posts by other people. It's a quick and easy, something you're probably already doing, but now's the time to approach it with a business mindset and be systematic about it, be consistent about it. Just like any other lead generation tactic, it's not going to work unless you're systematic and you're consistent about it. Social media is the same thing. All right. Social media is a fantastic tool. It's free to use when it comes to marketing and prospecting. But it's important to be active on your social media platforms and make sure you're active on your platform of choice. Because like for me, I'm really not good on Instagram. All right. I'm much, much better on Facebook. So I put my time into Facebook because if I put my time in Instagram, I'm just not going to follow up with it. I should be better at it. But until I do get better at it, I focus on Facebook just because it's going to help me generate the new business, putting the time into the thing I'm going to follow up in. So that's for me, it's Facebook. For you, it might be Instagram, might be TikTok. Who knows? Maybe somebody's still on MySpace for all we know, and maybe you're holding down the fort on MySpace. Who knows? or wherever the next big social media thing to come in. Maybe you're going to be the forefront of that, and that's going to be your thing. Maybe it's YouTube. Whatever it is, pick the one you're best at, and that's what you really want to employ the system on. All right, so how does interacting with others on social media help to boost your business? All right, does anybody have an idea they want to share?
Isn't it to do with like an algorithm? If you interact with other people, then the algorithm will put you out.
Boom, perfect. Ian's got it. Nice job, Ian. Yes, basically when you interact with other people's profiles, the algorithm is going to say, oh my goodness, these people like each other and they interact with each other. So your content is going to boost on their feed. They're going to see more of you because you're interacting with them. Plus, they're going to remember your support. They're going to remember if you're active on their page. If you're only posting stuff but not interacting with people, they're going to think you're just doing your thing because you want people to see whatever you got going on, but you don't care about what they got going on. So they're going to remember you more, and you're going to build a better connection with them if you're interacting with people. All right. Monica, we're a little bit ahead. We got to go back to, please, to the 5 comments. There we go.
I have a question.
Yes.
Should we be doing that? I have a separate personal versus business page. Should we be doing the 10-5 one on your personal or from your business page?
All right. So personal. All right. I hope I'm not speaking out of school here. Monica can correct me, but the way I do it is personal, because if your business page is great for sharing from it, for running social media advertisements from it, you need a business page for that. But unless you're paying to boost your posts, nobody's seeing it. Maybe 5-10 people are seeing it. You have to pay to boost it. It's not showing up on feeds, at least not as much as your personal page does. Everything we're going to talk about tonight is actually going to be stuff that you're going to, this is more about you posting on your personal page so people build that connection with you. But just remember, if you are posting about real estate and it is on your personal page, make sure if you're putting up a graphic, if you're advertising a listing, anything like that, just make sure you put in the comments your market center DBA name, or it's somewhere on the graphic, a logo or something like that.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. This is all really based on your personal page, because this is what you're interacting with people. And you'll see as we get further along, we're going to talk about, especially with the 80-20 principle, 80% of it's going to be personal content. You're not going to be putting your personal content on your business page. So, all right. But it's a very, very good question. Excellent question. All right. 5 comments. This is the 5 in the 10-5 one. 5 comments. All right. So beyond your likes, it's not just about liking things and moving on with your day. Oh, I just pushed the button 10 times, I'm good to go. No, you're gonna make 5 comments as well. All right. Now don't worry about it. You don't have to write all 7 books or whatever it is of Game of Thrones or anything like that. It doesn't have to be like the Iliad or any giant, soliloquy or anything like that. Just a few words of engagement, optimism, congratulations, admiration, whatever you normally would do to interact with that person. It doesn't have to be something crazy. Just, comment with them. Yes, Bruce.
Hey, we got another agent trying to get in. Can you let him pop in?
Oh, okay. Absolutely. Thank you for the heads up. Oh, we got 4 people in there. Welcome, late entry people. Thank you for coming. I know it's a crazy night. People got storms out there and things like that. So thank you for holding on, being patient in the waiting room. All right. So we're talking about the 5 and the 10-5-1. Yeah. 5 comments. That's it. It can be easy to overthink it on social media, but it's important to bring a unique voice to it. Be yourself. Post something that's personal, post something that's unique, something you would say. Don't be the person that always pushes the button of whatever the Facebook AI or Instagram AI tells you to do. It's somebody's birthday. Happy birthday to you, Jonathan, but that they don't go by that. They go by Jay or something like that. They're going to know it's not genuine. It's not from you. You're just pushing the button, being lazy about it. Make sure you're taking the time to make it personal. All right. Next. All right, and here's the one. So yes, I think it was Barb earlier. that said the 1051 is one direct message. So it doesn't have to be a direct message. It can also be just a share. It could be sharing somebody else's posts or coming up with an original post of your own. All right, so that's what the one is. So every day, really the best thing to do is to come up with the original post if you can, but I know you can't always do that. So that's why you got the other alternatives there for the one. But you know, try to create one post, share somebody else's post, or direct message somebody. When you share somebody else's post, you know, try to make it something that's, you know, coming from contribution or something that's a good cause, maybe community activities, fundraisers, quotes, anything useful or inspirational, you know, something that's going to bring out, you know, something that's going to bring out some uniqueness to your feed. And remember, don't just share it and then just leave it blank. Don't be the person that shares somebody else's post but doesn't write anything. You know, if somebody's like, I've got a cousin who owns a dog rescue, so I'm always sharing her stuff. But I'm not, you know, she posts a picture of the dogs that need to be adopted and everything. I don't just share it and leave it blank. I'll share it and I'll write something like, oh my goodness, you know, these fur babies are so adorable. If I didn't already have 3 rescue dogs, which I do, if I didn't already have 3 rescue dogs, I wish I could go take one of these as well. Oh my goodness, you know, something like that. Add your own unique voice to it as well if you're sharing. So also the direct messages, that's another good way to, you know, show you care to people. You know, if it's somebody who's an artist, you know, if it's somebody who's in a band, if it's somebody's birthday, you know, instead of just leaving the comment on the post, message them too. Oh my goodness, I saw your band played last night. I wish I could have gone. You know, when's the next time you're playing? I want to come check you out. Or, hey, you know, happy birthday. I didn't want to put all this on your personal page, but you know, remember that time we went to Las Vegas for your birthday 10 years ago? That was crazy. We got to get together again. You know, find a way to make a personal connection there with your direct messages. And when you create your original posts, all right, so now you're going to make sure you're going to follow the 80-20 rule, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. All right, Monica, now we're ready for the ahas. All right, so I want to hear from you. Do we have any ahas so far? And if you do, put them in the chat and write them down in your participant guide, please. And while you're doing that, I'm going to check the waiting room one more time. Does anybody know if anyone's still waiting to get in, or is everybody in right now? Did Diana get in? Nice. All right. Oh, I just heard the thunder at my house.
Our electricity is flickering a bit over here. So,
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know. It's hopefully we don't crash. Hopefully everybody makes it through this. All right. So anybody have any ahas? You can come off mute if you got one.
I didn't get the full quote, but my note was, it's okay, it takes time. The quote was something about it takes time to get better, to become proficient.
Yep, absolutely. It takes time to get better. It takes even more time to become proficient. I'm paraphrasing as well here. It takes even more time to become a master of something. So, but yeah, for me, social media is definitely something that if you get good at it, like I said, I built my entire business on it. It's a great tool. A great tool. All right.
May I ask you something?
Sure.
So if it's in Facebook, right, and you're talking about the personal account, so you're gonna have your personal things, and you're gonna make it public instead of private or just friends. So you want us to make it public so everyone can see it?
So that's your own personal choice. I know some agents will make their personal stuff public so people can see it. Some keep it private. Generally, what I do is my personal posts are geared towards people that are already I'm already friends and already connected with. So I do keep my stuff private if my personal stuff is private. But I do put my business stuff public because, you know, if you're, you know, going on a listing appointment, if you're you know, we're trying to sign up a buyer on a buyer's representation agreement and you've been talking with them, They're going to try to find you on social media. They're going to stalk you. So I want them to see all the cool stuff I've been doing with real estate on there. They're not friends with me on there yet. So it's not like they're going to block me or unfollow me. They're not even following me yet. So what's the harm? If they don't know me and they're searching me up on social media, it's because they want to see, oh, how professional is he? What he's been doing. So all my professional stuff is on there. So they're going through and they're seeing, I don't know if you can see my screen right now. Oh, he won top 100 agent in the country for Rate My Agent in 2024. I got that award on there, and you better believe that's public, because the people that don't know me yet, I want them to see that. But I don't want them to see pictures of my kids and my dogs and all that, so that I keep public. But at the end of the day, it's really up to you. So, all right, some other
And let me-
questions. Well, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, in addition to that, and maybe everyone can pitch in on this one. So if I just post one particular thing public, that doesn't mean that everything else becomes public. It's just that post. That's it.
Yeah, but what you got to be careful of is sometimes if you make one post public, the program or the site that you're using might all of a sudden default to public, and the next one would be public unless you catch it and change it back to private. So, alrighty. Should we be liking and commenting on other agents' posts? You know, it kind of depends. So you gotta, it's a little tricky thing with other agents, because you don't want the algorithm to think that you only want to engage and interact with other agents, because that's all that's going to show up in your feed, and you're going to be showing up mostly on other agents' feeds. So you got to be selective about it. You know, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It kind of depends on what's going on. I wouldn't make it one of your 10-5-1s for sure. I mean, I wouldn't, unless it's somebody you know and you really want to support them, and you do want to support other agents and have that connection as well, because you never know when they're gonna, you know, you might need their help and they might be on the other end of a deal. So it's something that you want. It's a little tricky, you know. Sure, you can like and comment, but I would not make them part of your 10-5-1, because your 10-5-1 is really geared towards you getting business, and you're not going to get business most likely from other agents unless they're in different areas than you, and maybe they could become a referral partner, but there'll be more on that later. All right, so let's keep moving here. Let's move along. Let's keep the social media train rolling. All right, so now we're going to go into our next section, which is posting practice. All right. So let's talk about the 80-20 posting principle. Alrighty. So you've got a section in your participant guide on this. Make sure you check that out as well. There's a nice little graph on there that kind of breaks it down. So basically what it means is 80% of your posts are going to be talking about something other than real estate. Only 20%, only 1 out of 5 should be business oriented. And so why do you think that's true? Why do you think we want to do that?
Because people are there for your personality, most part, not there for your business. Maybe some people are, but for the most part, people want to see you.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. If you just spam people with real estate stuff all the time, exactly, Alan, you don't want to overdo it. If you spam people with just real estate stuff nonstop, they're not going to block you probably. They're not going to unfriend you probably, because you'd notice that, oh, where'd so-and-so go? They're not friends with me on Facebook anymore or whatever. That could be awkward. But what they can do is hit that little unfollow button so you don't show up anymore in their feed, and you've got no idea that ever happens. People are connected with you on social media most likely because, like Ian said, they like you. They want to know about you. All right, so you want to make sure you keep that personal connection. And if they feel like all they do is real estate now, it's all they care about, they might unfollow you. You want to keep them engaged with you because they like you. So very, very good answer. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the 80% and what we can do with that. All right, next slide, please, Monica. All righty, so let's dig deep into this idea of the 80-20 practice. Instead of totally inundating your social media platforms with listings and business content, Adopt this principle. Make 80% of your posts about your interests. And like I said earlier, I am a victim of this myself. I usually tend, when I go back and I look at what I've been tracking, I sometimes slip into like 50-50. Because I'm so excited about everything I'm doing on real estate. I put more of it up than I should. But this is my reminder. Oh, I got to pull it back. Got to pull it back. So what are some things you can post about? You know, personal interests and posts. Everyone's personal interests are going to be different. So these are just some ideas here. You know, post about what you're reading, where you're traveling, your favorite foods or activities. You know, if you've got, you know, kids, everyone loves to see pictures of the kids. People love to see pictures of pets, you know, sports, music, whatever it is that really is something that is genuine to you, post about it. You know, that's what the 80% is. Stuff people are they're gonna care about. Yeah, Ford content. Exactly, Drew. Perfect. Ford content. The same stuff you'd call them up and talk about. Hey, the family. Hey, how are you doing with you know? That, you know, that's exactly the kind of stuff you're putting. This it's the personal stuff, it's the fun stuff. That's what you want to have on there. You know, I might be jumping ahead a little bit here, but you know, you want to keep it positive, keep it optimistic, try to stay out of the mud, try to stay out of the, you know, like the negativity and things like that. Whether you I'm going off script here, hopefully Monica doesn't get mad at me, but whether you like it or not, once you're a real estate agent, your personal page becomes a business page, whether you like it or not. So just be aware.
Absolutely. Yeah, I
Okay.
totally agree with that, Frank. Yeah, 100%.
Like, oh no, I'm going off script. But really, that's what it comes down to. Your personal page becomes a business page at that point, whether you like it or not. So just be careful with it.
So it looks like we have Ian raising his hand here.
Oh, Ian, go ahead.
On that topic, I'd like to convert my personal page into a real estate page. And I don't know if you'll cover this in class, but how do I guess, cull some personality because it's too personal and change it into more real estate based? How do I make that balance and decision and know what's to remove or keep?
So I'd say it's really up to you with what you're comfortable having out there to potential clients. You know, it's really comes down to a personal choice. You know, if you're somebody who's maybe you do post about, you know, political things or maybe some, you know, really like hot topics that might be divisive. If that's who you are and that's what you like, and you want to be true to that, you certainly can, as long as you go into it knowing, hey, I might divide some people here. But if you're okay with it, you're okay with it. If you really do want to make it more, though, like, hey, I want to make this a little more for everybody and more professional so, you know, for business purposes, I can work with as many people as possible, you know, then what I would do is, you know, I kind of went through it myself about 3 years ago. I went back a couple years in my feeds and I found the stuff that I was like, oh my God, I'd be kind of, I'd be kind of embarrassed if somebody found this and I don't really feel this way anymore. You can go back through your feed and you can delete things that you might not want there anymore. And then, but it's a lot of people aren't, unless you're running for president, no one's going back 5 years into your feed. So you don't have to go crazy with it. It's more about going forward, what you're going to be doing. So I wouldn't stress too much about the stuff in the past unless, you know, you've got some stuff on there that you know wouldn't be comfortable with that you'd like to remove just in case you did have clients on there and they did go kind of stalking back on you, which, you know, they might. But it's really a personal choice at the end of the day. There are lots of agents out there that are political and they feel like, hey, you know what, I'm going to get more because I'm going to talk to that base and that side is that, you know, those are my people and I don't care. And they're passionate about it. And I've had agents that I've coached that have said, hey, Frank, I appreciate your outlook on this, but I want to be true to myself. And this is what I believe. And I'm going to market myself to that audience. Hey, it's your business. You run your business how you want. So I'm going to make suggestions with what I think, but at the end of the day, it's your business and you run it how you want and, you know, be true to yourself. So I hope that answered your question. I know it's kind of vague, but
No, fantastic. I mean, it was a very heavy question, if I'm being honest. So thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not going to tell somebody you have to go erase everything, but just be aware of it and make that choice for yourself on what's important to you, you know? So, all right.
Got a question,
But very good question. Very good question. All righty. So Okay, you got your participant guide again. It's going to ask you to make a list of 5 things you're passionate about. Use those interests as doorways into your real estate brand. So they give you a lot of good ones right here. They give you a lot of good examples of things. So right now, if you've got something that's not on the list here, now that we've talked about something personal to you, I want everyone to type one thing in the chat that's personal to you that you think would be a good thing for you to post about on social media. Nice.
Meanwhile,
Good
Frank,
stuff.
we do have a Drew raising his hand here.
Okay, while everyone's typing, we'll hear from Drew. Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, I kind of tagging back on the previous comment about being political. Yeah, I know, right? We have so many agents in Keller Williams across the country. Have you encountered, if you've got one person being ultra political or whatever? I get that we're very independent, so Keller Williams probably doesn't police that very much. But how do you address that if you've got a client who they see a different KW person over here, and they're raising a lot of storms or whatever, that could impact their view of other agents. Have you had to address that? How do you have that conversation?
Well, I've got the luxury of not being nearly high enough on leadership to have to make any of those decisions. I've never seen it. I think that's a good Monica question, not to put her on the hot seat, but that's definitely above my pay grade, that one there.
Sorry, ask that again. I was a little distracted here. Little ones.
So we were talking earlier about, some agents really lean into their politics and make that who they are, and that's the group that they're trying to market to. And so I guess my question is, if I've got a client and they just see, hey, I saw this KW guy who was, ultra on an end that they're not on, whichever end it is, honestly, and politically, if that gives them some concerns about Keller Williams as a whole or whatever, or working with someone who might be tied to that. I know we're not tied together at all really in those sense, but that could be the perception. So my question is, like, if you have clients with concerns, how's that conversation had? I don't know. Maybe I'm making up a story that doesn't exist here, but
I would just lean on your personal opinion and personal business view. I think maybe just explaining that everyone, Keller Williams is a place where everyone's an entrepreneur, right? And you really can only speak for your own opinion there.
Yeah. And I mean, me personally, if somebody were to come up to me and say, oh, I saw Drew, he posted this crazy thing about, it's funny. I got some of my coaching agents in here gonna laugh at this because I used this example last night on our Zoom, or 2 nights ago. Drew was talking about the moon's made out of cheese and there's a conspiracy with the government and the lizard people, and he works for your office and there's a huge problem with this and your office better do something about it. We're all independent contractors at the end of the day, which I'm sure what it comes down to. And it's like, hey, independent contractors, that's only one person's opinion. That's where I would go with it. Yeah, Drew with the cheese. Very, very nice. So, alrighty. I love all the comments in here about all the personal stuff in there. We got some horses, we got some hiking, gardening. That's always a good one. I love the gardening posts. Who grew the biggest, watermelon for the season or cucumber or something like that. That's always fun. Scouting skills, dog walking, dance community. That's all great stuff. Perfect stuff. So Ben says, basically just remind people that we're independent. Yeah, exactly. We can't control other people's posts. All we can do, and really what this class is about tonight is me trying to give you guys some best practices to help you in your business. And you run it how you want. That other stuff's really kind of big time outliers, and stuff that none of you are ever going to really have to worry about it. If anyone does come to you and says, so-and-so does this stuff on social media and raises a concern, just go to your leadership about it and they will absolutely handle it in the best way that they see fit. So, alrighty. Let's move on to the 20%, which is, even though it's a smaller slice of the pie, this is the sweet stuff right here. This is the stuff that we came for. All right. 20% of your posts can be self-promotion or posts about business. Things like where I'm speaking, awards I've won. Oh yeah, rate my agent. Oh, check out my awesome 5-star reviews. Hey, I'm at a closing, stuff like that. So inspirational quotes can help engage followers and friends. Quotes are another thing that have kind of foot in both camps of personal and business. If someone regularly interacts with quotes, it might be a good idea to ask them what a certain quote means to them. So that quotes can kind of be, that's the cool thing about quotes, is it might be business or it might be personal. It can kind of cover both. So quotes are sometimes kind of a cool thing. But most important, your 20% that's about business, don't just make it cookie cutter, boring stuff. I know it's hard, especially when you first started, but try to make it engaging and try to make it about you. One thing I did early on, I did stupid stuff like when a listing ended and that day I posted about, hey, my listing sold, this is awesome. The next day I took my for sale sign, I took my sign and I went on Photoshop and I put a sad face on it. And I was like, hi, I'm Frank's yard sign. I'm so sad I don't have a home right now. Yeah, cheesy, but that's me and it speaks to my audience and it's unique. Things like that, or people are gonna, like, I got messages on that one from people. Oh my goodness, everyone just posts the same stuff, but I love that you make it unique and you make it funny. So, things like that. Also, don't just post about, hey, I'm going to a showing tonight, and it's just text. Post outside the house. Take a selfie of yourself outside. Hey, I get to show this amazing house tonight. So cool. If especially if it's like on the water, or if there's a pool or something really cool and unique about it, post about it, but make a picture of it. Quick 30-45 second videos, especially if you're hosting an open house. That is gold. That is social media gold. Do a quick 30 or 45 second live video. Live videos will go higher in the feed, higher in the algorithm than just a video that you tape and then post. So live is great. Do a quick live video. Hey, I'm here at this open house tonight, 123 Main Street. We're going to be here from 5 to 7. I got my team member Alan here with me, and we're going to be hanging here till 7 o'clock. Come see us. Something like that. If you're in a class, hey, here's an idea. You guys are in Regional Ignite tonight. You know what I'd be doing? I'd be taking a screenshot of something of this class and posting about it and saying, hey, I'm taking this awesome class tonight on Ignite about social media. I'm learning some cool stuff. Be on the lookout for some cool and unique social media content coming your way from yours truly. Something like that. Those are all ideas of some different unique things you can do for that 20%. All right. Let's talk about going above and beyond in the 10% community service. Alrighty. So you can, even if you want to, go over the top and give 110% to be the real estate expert of choice. Consider making an extra 10% of your posts be public service. All right. Some crossover posts, something that you have knowledge that others need. Maybe there's property tax increases or new assessments went out in your town. Hey, everybody, heads up. The new taxes are out. If you don't agree with them, message me, send me your address. I'll take a look. It might be something that you can, that you can try to, arbitrate with the town. What are some other ones? All right, school closures. All right. Hey, everybody, don't forget tomorrow is, teachers administration day or teacher training day or whatever they have in your town. There's no school tomorrow. Don't do like what I did last year and show up and you're the only one at the drop-off line because you forgot. Food banks, if there's food banks that are in need, like I talked about, animal shelters, things like that. If you want to make 10% of it community service, that's going above and beyond. And it's a great way to be active in your community. Inform your connections of important public service, and you're being of service and you're coming from contribution, and people will remember stuff like that. In times of crisis, agents can be helpful members of the community, and people remember that kind of stuff. All righty, on to the next. All right, we're back at ahas again. Maybe this time we got some more ahas. Anyone have any ahas on social media and how you capture leads? Any
Posting
new ones?
posting community service things. It's like touching base on a different demographic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's something that's you know, if you're not doing it, it's a great thing to add to your social media repertoire. Yeah, but Alan says thinking outside the box. Absolutely. Every single real estate agent is posting, you know, a little flyer of just sold, you know, with them with the arms folded on the graphic. Hey, just sold. Yeah. Everyone's
like-
doing it. Come up with something new. You know, come up with something different.
I like the one you said that the live feed are up on the feeds quicker.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, really, really dig into the algorithms, and they are changing. So it's one thing to try to stay on top of, but you know, not only do you want to be active in social media, but you want to make sure that the stuff you're doing is the stuff that's going to give you the best results, you know, as well. So definitely, you know, keep looking into the algorithms and researching whatever your platform is. There's people that write about it all the time. You can find blogs about it. You can find articles about it on what the latest algorithms are doing and how to get to the top of them. So Kimberly says local restaurants and fun things to do in town. Yeah, that's a great one. That is an awesome one. Some people will do that. They'll feature a different restaurant of the week. One thing I plan on doing, but I haven't done yet, is I'm going to give a shout out to my well guy. My well guy came out this week because my well wasn't working. He's done it twice for me so far. I've called him up, said, "Oh my God, Tom, my well's not working. Please come help me." He's come right over that day every single time. It was a quick 10 or 15 minute fix. And when I said, "How much do I owe you?" "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just tell people about me." So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to feature him. I'm going to talk about him. Talk about local restaurants in your town. Talk about other small businesses in your town and support them. And they're going to support you as well. So, all right. Thank you so much
I
for
read
sharing.
something that I know that we didn't talk about it here, but might be an aha for other folks while we talk about, you know, local businesses. I read something that said, you know, if you post about maybe a really great sandwich or some really great wine at a winery and you tag the business page, you get more views because you're hitting everyone who's following that business page too.
Yes.
And more folks see it.
Yep. That is a great point. And thank you so much for bringing that up. That is a great tip for everybody. Yeah. Most of those business pages, they have their entire page public because they want everybody to know about their page. So if you write something and you say exactly what Crystal just said, "Hey, I just had an awesome lobster roll at Flo's Clam Shack," and you tag Flo's Clam Shack, it's going to show up in their feed. And anybody who's looking at Flo's Clam Shack's feed, they're going to see your post and they're going, "Oh my goodness, who's that? Who's that person?" They might click on your profile. They might find out, "Oh my goodness, they're a realtor. That's cool." And they might see some of your other cool stuff on there and they might friend you. You might make a new connection out of it. But yeah, a lot of people are going to see you as well by doing that. So that's a great tip. So thank you so much for sharing that. And we're going to move on to our next portion, which is we're going to talk about social media strategies. All right. So once again, refer to your participant guide. You're going to have a lot of good little activities in there. Not all of them we're going to do tonight, but this is all really good stuff that kind of as we're going, we're talking about things, you know, make sure you're jotting down notes in there and filling things out. So you remember all the stuff we're talking about here. So you know the numbers of how often you should be posting, and you know the 80-20 practice that should help guide you when you may want to make those posts. Now we're going to look at some strategies to employ when increasing engagement on social media. Because if you're like most people and using social media, using it pretty much every day. So you know what's awesome about social media? It can be a 365 touch system if you're using it every day, which a lot of you probably are already. So remember, there's lots of different social media sites. I think we talked about this earlier. You know, it's Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, LinkedIn, more, and there's more coming. There's going to be different strategies for different platforms. So kind of like we were talking about a little bit earlier, learn your platform, learn how those algorithms work, and learn to, to make sure that what you're using and your strategies are really being used in the best ways and getting the most engagement out of it. All right, so we already talked about your favorite social media platform, so we're not going to do that right now. I want to do something right now. I'm going off script again. All right, so I think I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I want to make sure I don't miss this part. So we all talked about our favorite social media platforms earlier in the chat. I also want to do this before it gets buried in the chat. So, yeah, go ahead, Michelle.
I was just gonna ask, I do have a business Facebook and then I have a personal Facebook. So if I'm using my personal Facebook, I'm just gonna have to put in there that I'm a realtor because I don't normally do that on my personal page.
Yeah, so it depends on what you're posting about. If it's direct business content, like you're promoting a listing, you're promoting an open house. If it's something that has a graphic and your office graphics already on it, you're covered. If it is on your business page and your title has your office DBA name in it, you're covered. But if it is on your personal page, then yes, somewhere in the post towards the end, you just put Michelle Favero in Keller Williams, whatever office you're in,
Okay.
and you're good to
Gotcha.
go.
For me, anytime I talk about anything real estate, I will post it on my business page and then share it to the personal page. That way it has all the legal stuff already on it. It's 2 clicks away, and that way I stay out of trouble.
Yep, absolutely. A lot of people do that. I do that with a lot of stuff as well, too. That's also a very, very good way to go. All right. What I want to do is, all right, so I want everybody to pick your favorite social media platform. We already talked about it. We already said how many followers we had, and you already said what area you're in. So what I want everybody to do is scroll back through the chat and find somebody that you don't know already that's in a different area than you and write their name down. And then your homework is to find them on that same social media platform that you're both on and friend them on them, like them on there, follow it on it, make a new connection. All right, make a new connection with somebody else who's in a different area on social media. Now you've got a new connection. You've got somebody else in another area, potential referral partner. All right, so that's some homework. I'm gonna give you guys a couple minutes right now. Scroll up in the chat, find somebody, don't tell them yet. All right, just write their name down, the social media platform, and then later on connect with them and you guys can talk about, yeah, it was an awesome class, learned so much, it was amazing. And now I got a new referral partner in an area that I didn't know I had one before. So that's a little activity to do real quick. All right, while you're doing that, we're going to talk about highlighting your business. All right, there's a cool little graphic here with 2 little squares that are showing the connection there between highlighting your business and social media strategies. So you have to create posts that not only highlight your business, but make sure it's hyper local. It doesn't all have to be hyper local, but make sure that the majority of it is useful to your local audience. Most of the people you know on social media are going to be local. So I've got an example about this that's going around right now. How many people have seen, you just kind of wave your hand around, but how many people have seen the article that's going around about, oh my goodness, it's the first time in history that sellers are taking less than listing price. And it's the first time in history that there's been this many canceled listings happening in this many months, right? Have you guys seen that all go around social media? Or is it just me? It is all over my social media, and I'm in Rhode Island primarily. Local Rhode Island news stations are taking a national article and posting it without giving the context that it's a national story and it's driven by national data, and it's really not what we're seeing in our area. Even worse, I've seen real estate agents in my area post it, maybe not realizing it's a national story, or maybe not truly understanding the market they're in. But that's something you got to be very, very careful of. They're posting a national story that's driven by data from states far, far away from here. Remember, I am in Florida, and that is definitely driven by Florida. Florida right now is a hyper buyer's market. California, buyer's market. I believe Texas right now too, big time buyer's market. There's some other areas in the state that are big time buyer's markets right now that are causing the data to skew a little bit. But the problem is somebody talks about that locally here in Rhode Island, and most likely where you are as well, makes it sound like, oh my goodness, that's happening here. And not only is that not helpful information, it could be potentially harmful information, because people are seeing that locally going, and you look at the comments on the news channels when they're, oh, thank goodness, I'm going to wait even longer to buy a house now. It's just a matter of time till the prices come way down. But uh-oh, must have lost Crystal. She's back in the waiting room. But around here, that's not happening. And that's very dangerous. You know, we don't have inventory here. We've got more inventory than we've had in the last couple of years. But sharing an article like that is very dangerous right here, right now, and not what's going on here. So you don't want to be that agent that's posting stuff that's not relevant to your area, because not only is it not helpful, in some cases, it could be potentially dangerous as well. So make sure you're keeping current. Keep current and potential customers aware of the latest market trends in your neck of the woods. All right. You can post national stuff. Just make sure you say, hey, this is happening nationally. What does that mean for us? Question mark. Or have a spin-off discussion about it. But, you know, make sure that it's either local information. If it is national information, try to find a way to tie it into what it means to you locally. You know, because if you talk about things like that, that's a surefire way to kind of separate yourself and position yourself as somebody who provides valuable information to your social media sphere. Alrighty. So, oh, the other thing you can do too to highlight your business is make sure you talk about technology. All right. Talk about the amazing technology that Keller Williams has. You know, you see people posting the realtor.com links, the Zillow links. You know, every once in a while, post about the KW app. Be like, hey, everybody, just want to let you know I've got this awesome app with Keller Williams. It's the KW app. You know, post about that. Talk about the KW technology. Talk about the Canva integration we've got coming up. Oh, my goodness, all this crazy, amazing stuff's coming up with Keller Williams that's exclusive to Keller Williams. Talk about that every once in a while. Don't be afraid to post. Not only don't be afraid, you should be posting client testimonials, your reviews. All right. Word of mouth recommendations in real estate carry the same weight as they do in any industry, if not more. Highlighting a quote from a happy customer is a great way to establish credibility while allowing your brand to shine. You know, hey, don't just take my word for it. Here's what other people are saying as well. Reviews are social media gold. So make sure you're using your reviews as part of your social media content. All right, on to the next. All right, don't post and ghost. So another important thing to remember is make sure you don't post and ghost. What does that mean, Frank? Well, great posts will lead to steady streams of engagement, comments, likes, and shares. But guess what? Don't let them just sit there, because the more participants engage with their posts, the more they'll be engaged with. So if you post something super cool, whether it be personal or business, and people are commenting on it, make sure you take the time to go back and follow up on those comments. It's going to boost that post in the algorithm. So the algorithm's going to say, oh my goodness, this is a hot post. There's a whole kinds of people talking about whatever's going on here. We need to make sure it shows up on more feeds. So not only will it show up on more feeds, but also those people will be happy that you're engaging with them and actually hearing what they have to say and responding to them, that you're not just posting something, they're commenting, and then they never hear from you. They might go, well, that's the last time I'm commenting on, oh, he posted about his 5-star review. And I said, oh, that's amazing. And I don't doubt that one bit, and you never said, hey, thank you. That's, so awesome. Thanks for the support. And you just let that comment sit. What's going to make more difference? What's going to make them, build that connection with them? Go back to the post, engage with it. Don't just ghost the post. So one way to make sure that you can stay consistent with this is time block for social media. All right. This stuff does take time. And this is why this is part of lead generation, because it's not just easy and it's not just quick. It takes time. Anything that takes time, you got a time block. So make sure you time block for it. Set aside time each day to respond to every person who's commented or liked on your posts. Each one of those posters, those commenters, those likers, every single one of those is potential for business. All right. So why is it important to acknowledge when other comment on your post? We basically already talked about it. I'm guilty of jumping ahead on all kinds of stuff because I get excited. So yeah, we talked about it. I think Ian mentioned this right off the bat when we were talking about this. The more you engage with them, the more it's going to boost your content on their feed, the more it's going to build a connection to that person. And the more, I'm going to tell you something simple about this business and about how social media connects with the business. All right. The more people who feel connected to you and know that you do real estate, the more business you will do. It's simple. It really is simple math at the end of the day. The more people you connect with and they feel that connection with you, the more business you will get out of it. So don't post and ghost, engage. As Captain Picard likes to say, if anybody gets that reference. All right, let's move forward before I totally let everybody know how much of a nerd I am. All right, we're going to talk about adding value. All right, so when you navigate the online world, it's important to find communities where you can add value. At the end of the day, people will feel that you're offering them value, hopefully. One good way to do that is through Facebook groups and communities where you can offer value to sometimes literally thousands of people if it's a big enough group. So, but finding the right community will take time, but it's the best way to make sure that you're making the most of your investment of spending time in that group. Because what you got to be careful of is you got to check the rules for the group. All right. Don't just join a random group and start, posting your real estate stuff. They might have a no self-advertisement rule. And then whatever you were doing, guess what? You're now booted out of the group. So you got to be kind of tactful about it. Engage in a way that might not be too self-promoting. So that way, maybe they can see, hey, this person's knowledgeable. Maybe they click on your profile. They find out you do real estate. They message you. That's happened to me several times through some other groups that I'm in. People will be in kind of a jam. They're asking for advice. I give their advice. They can tell I'm knowledgeable, but I don't come straight out over the top. And by the way, if you need help, I can connect you with one of my associates in your market. But they messaged me and they're like, hey, you seem to know what you're talking about. And then it's off the group. Because a lot of these groups, as a lot of they might be run by a real estate agent. Guess what? They see somebody else on their turf trying to self-promote. You're going to be booted. So take the time to find the right group, or even better, maybe you create the group. And guess what? In my coaching agents are on this call. We just talked about that this week too. Even better, create the group, because then you control the group. You make the rules. You don't have to worry about getting booted. So finding the right community is worth it and has tremendous potential to reach a huge, huge audience. Oh, sorry. See, we got some missed questions here. Let's see. Oh, Bruce said had a local agent going back a little while ago saying it's now a buyer's market. Bruce, where are you?
New Hampshire.
Okay, I'll be honest. I don't know much about New Hampshire. I'm guessing that's a false statement, though.
We're about 2 months worth of inventory, so I wouldn't really consider that a buyer's market yet.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, there's a lot of agents out there that haven't really seen a buyer's market. So like I said, I've only been in the business for 5 years, but because I'm also licensed in Florida, I've had the experience of having to be in both at the same time, which is very unique. So I have seen a buyer's market, but there's a lot of agents out there that are new that maybe in the last 5 years who haven't seen a buyer's market yet, and they're seeing a market that's moving more towards, you know, normalizing or even, and they think that's a buyer's market because of what they've seen. But, you know, at the end of the day, as long as it's not you and you're doing the right thing and your sphere knows that you know what you're talking about, then, you know, then you're all good. Ben says, should you always ask permission to share someone's testimonial? That's a good question. I always share through Rate My Agent, and I'm positive that with Rate My Agent, there's a little disclaimer that says that, hey, you know, this is going to be public, so I'm covered with that. If it's something different, like if they sent you a thank you note or if they sent you an email or anything like that, then it definitely would be a good idea. Probably the courtesy would be like, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. Hey, you know, comments like that, testimonies like that is how I build my business. Are you okay if I share that with everybody to, you know, because that's really tremendous. I guarantee you they're all going to be fine with it, but they probably would, you know, appreciate the courtesy of you, you know, running it by them first.
The one I gave you. Oh. You basically just don't want to catch them off guard if they're, if it's something from their email. Yeah. And
yeah,
then
because
say,
if they
"Oh, I
send
didn't
you
know that was
something that,
signature."
in their mind, it might be private. Yeah. But if they're posting like a Google review or Rate My Agent review, they already know that's public. So you don't have to worry about stuff like that. Alrighty. Liz, what exactly does it mean 2 months of inventory, 4 months of inventory? Liz, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to move past that one because we're going a little bit long, and this one's about social media, and that's really going down a different road. So maybe at the end we can talk about that a little bit, but I want to keep it on the social media highway right now. Alrighty, let's do add value. We're good with that. Oh, look at this. We got some nice little QR codes. If you want to give us some feedback on our training, you can scan that, give us some feedback. I know there's a bunch of little fun things like this. KW Cares, that's awesome. You should check that out. If you're not already involved, you should get involved in that. That's a tremendous thing. Especially lately with everything that's been going on. There's been a lot of good things KW Cares has been doing. And KW Next Gen, that's also an amazing program we have. Scan that QR code, find out more about that, and you can donate, attend an event, or volunteer. All right, back to social media. All right, in your participant guide, you've got the activity that says post on social media. I'm going to look at my participant guide too at the same time so I can refresh my memory of exactly what that looks like. Power finder market stats. All right. All right, in your participant guide, it says do this with a partner. You're not going to do this with a partner, but there's definitely homework for you. I want you to find, so we were talking about being hyper local. Tonight, when we're off this class, after you've sent your friend request to the person we talked about a little while ago, after you've made your connection, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to find some local information, whether it be real estate stats, whether it be something going on in the community. Find something local to your market, post about it on social media, right? And the person that just connected with you that's also in this class, they're going to be your accountability partner, and they're going to check and make sure that you each did it. All right. So after you make your connection with your new person, check each other's feeds and make sure you do this homework and post about something local tonight. All right. Let's talk about more strategies for social media. All right. So we've talked about this a little bit, but I want to get, there's a little bit more meat on the bone here that I want to get into. And I'm also going to go off script again on this one because this is something that really, really speaks to me. You want to be authentic. When you're posting a lot on social media platforms, it's important to be authentic. Because, you know, when you are authentic, people are drawn to you. People want to do business with you if they feel like you are real. People can tell if you're acting like somebody else or if you're trying to be something you're not. So I'm going to give you another nerdy reference right now, which is wrestling, professional wrestling. Something unique to me is, some of you may know, some of you may not know. I used to be a local independent professional wrestler in the New England independent circuit. So one thing I learned with wrestling that I applied to my real estate business is you have to be authentic, you have to be real, you have to be yourself. Even in wrestling, you're playing a character. If you're playing a character you don't believe in or doesn't have any portion of you inside of it, it'll fall flat on its face. The audience won't care because they won't buy it and they won't be in the match. You know, they won't be interested in what is going on in the match because they don't believe you as a character. Now, most of you haven't heard of me, but most of you probably have heard of Stone Cold Steve Austin. All right. And if you are a wrestling fan, you know, when he first started out in WWE, he came out as the ringmaster. He had somebody else talking for him. He didn't like the gimmick, and it was going nowhere fast. He was almost released. He had no connection with the crowd. But then you know what he did? They gave him the opportunity to be himself. All right. So the Stone Cold Steve Austin character, which became huge and made wrestling soar to new heights and set all kinds of ratings records and income records, and just everyone was walking around with the Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt. He was being himself, but with the personality turned up to 11. All right, he was still playing a character, but it was based in himself and the person that he is. He was being fake. He was trying to be somebody else. Nobody cared. Nobody bought it. It's the same thing with being yourself as a real estate agent. If you go out and try to be another agent that you may have seen, oh, I like how they do that and they're successful, I'm going to try to be that person. If it's not rooted in yourself, it's not going to be genuine. It's not going to be authentic, and people can tell, and they're not going to believe you. And they're also not going to trust you because they can see that you're trying to be somebody else. So being authentic is really, really something that's super huge and important with real estate in general and in social media. If you're writing a post and you're using words you normally wouldn't use, people are going to tell. Now, if you use some colorful, colorful metaphors and some stuff that may not be professional language a lot in your personal life, I'm not saying go talk like that. Check out this, bleeping listing. This bleeping listing is cool as bleep. Like, no, it doesn't mean you have to do that, but bring a little bit of your own spice into it, and don't all of a sudden start talking like, somebody that you're not. So that's what and I'm way off the rails on that one, so I'm going to reel it back in. But that's something that's passionate to me as well. I tell all my coaching agents is be yourself on social media, be yourself in person. All right. So also, this is something we talked about before. Don't try to be a jack of all trades on social media. Don't try to master all 6. Pick the one you're good at. Use that one. Pick the forms of media you're good at. Try to use that one. If you're not good at certain things, just focus on the things that you are good at least to start. It is good to learn some other things that you're not good at. Like, I'm going to learn next time how to advance the slides while I'm the host on Zoom. But, stick with what you're good at as well on social media. So videos, let's talk about videos. Videos are a great way to engage users passively and actively. So the cool thing about videos is you might have 5 people like it. You might have 2 people comment on it, right? But if you've got 5 people liking it, 2 people commenting on it, guess what? You probably had like 50 people see it that you don't even know. So what's great about it is people are scrolling through the feed and they're going to see you talking. Oh, hey, blah, 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 blah. Oh, they're going to see you. It's going to show up in their feed. They might watch some of it. They might watch a little bit of it, but they're going to see you and you're going to be engaged with them. It's passively. All right. You're not actively. The people that are commenting and liking, that's some active participation. But you're going to have a lot of passive participation as well. And one thing that I found that happened to me early on in my career was I found out, I'm going to go off script again. Sorry, Monica. Everybody heard of the term lurkers? Social media has lurkers. All right. They don't comment on anything. They don't like anything. You don't even know they're on there. right? You don't even know they're on there. But guess what? I get comments from people. I get direct messages from people all the time that I forgot I was even friends with on social media. I haven't talked to in years. Oh my goodness, I love your stuff on social media. You're killing it in real estate. I'm so happy for you. So yeah, by the way, we got to sell my mom's house and we want you to come out. All of a sudden, I'm getting business from somebody I haven't done a thing with. I haven't talked to at all. Like, I haven't connected with them. My own fault. I should have reached out to them and connected them, but they don't post, so I kind of forgot about them. But guess what? They passively have been engaging with me through my content, through my videos. So you may think not a lot of people are seeing what you're doing, but there are. However many people are commenting and liking and all that good stuff, there's at least 10 times more that are seeing it and passively. So passive is a huge thing with social media. And it's very easy to forget that because you might get disappointed because you only see 5 people like something. You know what? 5 people liked it probably means 50 people saw it, if not more. So keep that in mind. Hey, you know what? These social media, a lot of them, like Facebook's got like the meta analytics page you can go to. Check those things out because they're going to give you data and analytics on how to optimize your posts. They're going to tell you who's looking at it more, what times they're looking at it. Check into that stuff and use it. So that way you're being, a little bit more, you're getting more bang for your buck when you do post your content. So check that stuff out. Don't be afraid to ask for help. All right. If you don't feel strong with social media, if you don't know what you're doing, all right, talk to somebody. All right. If you're in a class, we're going to do some Q&A a little bit at the end of this one. Talk to people that you have classes with. If you've got coaches in your market center, talk to coaches. If you see other savvy associates in your market center, talk to them about it. All right.
Frank, I
Ian.
think we have a question
Yeah.
here.
Go ahead, Ian.
My biggest issue or hurdle is trying to make sure I do everything legally on Instagram because I know there's advertisement laws stating, oh, you have to make sure you advertise this, this, and that. What are good resources I can use to make sure I'm following all the laws?
I think we had a link on that in your participant guide.
Oh, awesome.
Check out that link. It should have a lot of that really good information. Everyone states a little different, so I don't want to give you wrong information. So I would check out that link for more, and then also, maybe talk to your team leader or broker for a little bit more guidance on it if you've got questions on it. Because that's a big question, and I don't want to give you wrong information on it.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Of course. So yeah, but yeah, definitely ask for help. And if the legality of it is something, don't be afraid to ask for help. I did it myself. Florida went through a big thing. Florida Department of Business and Regulation was cracking down big time on social media, big time. And that's why my name is as long as it is right now on social media on my business page, because I reached out to my broker and I said, hey, I saw this email that came out from Florida Department of Business Regulation. Am I doing this right or am I not doing this right? I sent him a link to my page and I said, can you please check out my page and let me know? And he came back. He said, hey, you're doing a lot of stuff right, but I'd like to see this, that, and the other thing. And he gave me some tips on how to make it a little better. So I'm sure your broker will do the same thing for you. All right. Let's recap. Here we go. All right. So this is a super cool little graph here that you could print out. All right. Have this up somewhere in your office or wherever you're doing your social media from. And it's going to remind you to do this every day. If you wanted to get really, really consistent with your tracking, print out 7 of these at the beginning of the week and number them for each day or write the day of the week on it and go through and check them off as you go. All right. Remember the 10-5-1, 10 likes or loves, 5 comments, 1 share, direct message, or original post. All right. And within that, you're going to be following the 80-20 rule. All right. 80% personal, 20% business. And then the little blocks on the right there are going to remind you of all the things we talked about some other best practices. So this is a nice little neat graph you can print out, keep it close to wherever you're doing your social media to remind you of all this stuff that we talked about. All right. One more time. Let's talk about some ahas here. All right. Anybody got some ahas? Michelle says stories get a lot of views. That is correct. Absolutely. I'm not good at stories. I need to get better at stories. Stories do get a lot of views. Absolutely.
Customer reviews should be posted.
Yep. Absolutely, James. Customer reviews are gold. You got it. So next time you get a customer review, you're posting it, right, my friend?
That's right. That's right.
Nice. Nice. Absolutely. Alan says, don't post and ghost, engage. Absolutely. A lot of us are guilty of it, and we got to be mindful of going back to it. It's easy, especially if you time block, right? You time block in the morning. Oh, I'm going to do, 10 minutes of social media first thing in the morning. Make sure you time block another 10 or 15 minutes later in the day to go back and re-engage as well. Yeah, Diana, talk about tech stuff. Absolutely. That's a big selling point that's unique to KW. We've got the Canva thing coming up, the Canva integration. We've got the KW app. As an agent, you're not gonna really talk about this too much on your social media, but the fact that you can, somebody said boost, so we're gonna tie into that a little bit. The fact that Facebook directly talks to KW Command and will pull the data from your listing to help you put together a super cool boosted ad for your listing or somebody else's listing. It's all super cool stuff you can do. If you don't know how to do social media ads, talk to your tech trainer, schedule some time with your tech trainer to do some social media advertisings. So yeah, Bruce says, do you use Boost? So I only use Boost if I'm doing something on my business page I want people to see, because they won't see it. So if I get like a really big award or something like that, and it's on my business page, I will boost that because I do want people to see that. If I have a listing, I do put that on my business page. I will make an ad directly through Command, which is boosting it, but it's even better than boosting it. And I don't want to keep putting her on the hot seat, especially I know she's got the little ones, but Monica can probably, confirm this. But I believe that if you post through Command, it gets even more engagement because it's got the whole power. It thinks almost all of Keller Williams is posting it, so it goes to the even further in the feeds versus if you just boost it separately through Facebook. That's what I've heard through my tech trainer in my office. So I believe
that's what I've heard too, Frank. I don't have a lot of details on that. That's more of a Maggie, our regional tech trainer question. But yeah, that's what I've been told on a very basic general level. Yeah.
Yep. I think it was Maggie who told me that as well, actually. So yeah, definitely schedule some time with your tech trainer if you don't know how to do it. There also, I believe, are some videos online you can probably Google on how to do it as well. But yeah, boosting posts definitely has its place. When I've got listings or something really big that I'm going to have on my business page, I want a lot of people to see, then I do boost. I do boost sometimes, but depends on what it is. Yeah, Michelle's aha tag a business. That was a great one. That was a great one. Add value from Raina. Absolutely. Come from contribution, add value. People are going to remember that, and that's going to help build a connection with them. What do you use instead of Google reviews, and is it free? So no, mine's paid. I use Rate My Agent, but it is paid. I think it costs me like $30 a month or something like that, maybe $40 a month. But to me, it's worth it. Just because the whole platform it comes on is very user friendly, and it's very easy to send reviews. It links to, you can put your license numbers in it. So any business that you do, it automatically pulls it and imports it. So you can also connect it to your social media. So on my business page, whenever I put a new listing up, Rate My Agent will post my new listing right to my business page. It'll just show up. It'll just show up. I gave it permission, so it'll just show up. If I get a new review, it'll just show up on my business page. When I have a sale, it just shows up on my business page. It will not send a review though until I prompt it and I say it's okay, which is one good thing. I wouldn't want to just do that without me, checking it and sending it and making sure it's going at a time that's appropriate. So again, this isn't an advertisement though for Rate My Agent. There's other ones out there. Even though I've got it, behind my shoulder here, like it is some kind of advertisement, it's really not. Google, a lot of people use Google. That's what most people use. I don't directly use Google because Rate My Agent also talks to Google, and So for me, when I send out a review, it'll prompt them at the end to click a button and also post it to Google. So I've never been really good with Google. I've just been Rate My Agent. I don't know what free ones are out there besides Google. If anybody else knows, feel free to put it in the chat, or you can go ahead and come off mute and let Michelle know. Yep, Svetlana. Yeah, we talked about that. Tagging restaurant locations, have more reviews. And Veronica says that Chris teaches every Tuesday and Thursday about everything. And Drew wants to know, where is this? Don't leave Drew on red there. Where is this, Veronica?
Oh, Chris Orsini is our Keller Williams tech support.
Nice.
So he emails all of us every Monday, I believe. He emails and says, okay, this week I have 2 classes. Tuesday I teach, for example,
Nice.
1,000 questions you can ask me, and the Thursday I teach how to do this on that on the social media, anything. So
Nice.
yeah.
What market center is that?
He's from Florida.
He's from
But
Florida.
he teaches on Zoom online, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I got to get in touch with him. We can talk some Florida stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all good information. So
I can just copy and send his
yeah,
email
or
here.
if you haven't made your social media connection yet, or if you want to make an extra one, you can connect on social media with Drew and send him that information over social media. Right?
So I have a business and personal page on Facebook.
Yeah.
Should I advertise on both? I always advertise with the Keller Williams, Veronica Pianzin, the realtor, everything that stuff in my personal page. I know the rules. So should I double them?
Yeah, best practice is a nice mixture of the two, because people aren't going to see your business page stuff unless you boost it, and you can't afford to boost something every day. You'd be broke. So a lot of it, where you're going to build your connection with your sphere, is going to be on your personal page. So most of what we talked about tonight is stuff you're going to do on your personal page, besides the advertising and boosting posts. That's going to be on your business page. All right. And that's something that if you don't know how to do it, reach out to your tech trainer and they will help you out with that.
That's what I do.
All righty. All righty.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing all that with everybody. Definitely appreciate it. Any questions at all about anything that we talked about tonight? Open forum here on social media.
Okay, I have a question about stories on the Facebook. Can you respond? Like, I definitely get a lot of views that way, much more than people commenting. So I know they're viewing it. Can I respond, or is there no way to respond once you do a story?
I'll be honest with you, I don't do a lot of stories. I'm more of a post person because I like to know that my stuff's going to be there forever. I know that stories show up on feeds even higher in the algorithm, but I don't use them kind of for that reason. I don't think you can comment. I could be wrong, but even if you do comment on it, I know it goes away after a while. If somebody else is better with stories and wants to speak up, you can feel free, because I'm not really a big story guy. That's going to be on my thing to get better
You
at.
can post it also. You can do the story and then post it.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually will just go to a live video in my case.
Okay.
So I'll be honest, I don't know, but I know when I do stories, I'm in the same boat. I don't see a lot of comments on it. So it is possible that you don't.
Yeah.
But hey, next time you're on social media and you see somebody's story, try to see if you can comment on it.
Good point.
All
I
right.
think Instagram changed recently. There is a new commenting system. If I
Okay. All right, there
On
you go.
Facebook?
think.
On Facebook?
Facebook, if you comment, it goes to their DM.
Okay.
Oh.
That's good to know. Yep. Yeah, I do remember that happening now. Yep, when I do post on stories, I get it in my DM. That's right. I just don't do it a lot, so I don't remember. But thank you, Crystal. All right, Janice says, what are your thoughts on posting in groups? So we kind of talked about that. It depends. It's a great way to potentially engage with, potentially hundreds, thousands of people. But you got to be careful. Make sure it's the right group. Make sure you take the time to research and find a group that you can get your message across in a way that's tactful, efficient, you're not going to get booted out of because the rules say no self-advertisement or anything like that. So take the time to find the groups that are going to fit for you. But yeah, posting in groups can be very, very lucrative and a great way to spend your time on social media. I have gotten direct business from people who had no idea who I was through posting in different Facebook groups. So it's definitely a great thing. Just make sure you take time to find the right group or create the right group. And Veronica's got Chris's email in there. That's good. If people want to reach out to Chris for a little more support, I'm sure he'd be happy to help or direct you to the right information. So, alrighty. Check out your participant guide too as well before we wrap up. You know, there's going to be some other activities in there. One thing they want you to do is there's a little spot where they want you to write the 5 things here, the ahas to achievement. All right. How has your thinking changed with social media? What do you feel differently about? What different actions will you take? What different tools will you use? All right. So these are some big ahas that we've all kind of talked about. Make sure you don't forget about them. Write them down in your participant guide when we're done with the call here. So, alrighty, and you got your success system. So this is all the good tools in there to make sure that you're keeping track and writing down everything that you're supposed to be doing with all the amazing stuff we've talked about. Remember, social media is just like any other lead generating. It's not going to work unless you're consistent about it and you're doing it in a systematic manner. All right. The 10-5-1 system gives you that system. It turns into a 365 touch program. Follow it. You will get results. So if there's no other further questions, I don't know if Monica has anything she wants to add. But thank you all very much.
Frank.
All righty. Everyone have a good night. Hopefully you didn't get any thunder or lightning in your area. And when you go outside, everything's nice and clear and bright and sunny. And have an amazing night. And have a great journey continuing with Ignite. And maybe I'll see you again down the road. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Frank.